Hi everyone, this is a quick review and sort of an opinion piece on the Casio MDV-106 Duro. It's not going to be so much of a review as just sort of a description of how I feel about the watch and some of the features on it. There's more than enough reviews out there on this watch, and I think adding my voice to things will not really be helpful in a whole lot of ways, but this is my version of a review, I guess. The MD-106 has quite a cult following. It's been out since 2011, and as an inexpensive diver-styled watch, it represents an incredible value for what you get. It's quite a large watch at 43-44 millimeters. For the case size, it is 22 millimeters lug to lug for your straps, and about 12 millimeters thick, which is not a hugely thick watch, but it is thick enough that it could be off-putting for some people who find larger watches to be a bit much or a bit off-putting. I think it wears well on my wrist, and like I say, larger watches are sort of all the rage at the moment, so I don't think it's not going to stand out in any way for anyone. It's considered a diving watch, but in my opinion, it's not a true diver watch. What it is a diver-styled, sport-oriented watch with quite good water resistance. It has 200-meter water resistance on it, but for me, diver watches have to meet a very specific standard, the ISO 6425. Which is basically a series of standards and a series of tests that each individual watch must pass before it can be designated as a diver's watch. Some of those tests include water resistance, include corrosion resistance, magnetic resistance. One of the things they also test for is attachment points. So on a watch like this, they would apply a certain amount of torque to the attachment points on the strap. If the strap fails or the attachment points fail, the watch fails. This watch most likely adheres more to another ISO standard called, I believe it is the 2180. Don't quote me on that. I can't remember exactly if that's it or not right now. It's basically a water resistant standard, which it's still water resistant, but the watches are tested in probably small batches, or individual watches are pulled off the assembly line and tested, as opposed to each and every watch being tested for water resistance and some of the other tests that they actually do to get a diver's designation. The watch itself is extremely well made. The quality control and the level of build on this watch is amazing for the price point. These watches come in at approximately $40 to $50. It's just an incredible value for what you're getting on the watch. The case itself is stainless steel. It's got a coin edge bezel with 120 click unidirectional bezel. It's got nice action on it. It's got a bit of back play, but that has to be expected at a price point that you're dealing with here, which actually is one of my beefs about the watch, is that many people like to be critical of the watch, which I find a little bit disingenuous. Things such as the loom people will complain about, and it's like, you know what, if you are not willing, or if you're only going to pay $50 for a watch, you have to be willing to accept that you're not going to get the features of a much more expensive watch. Another thing that people complain about is the strap, and once again, if you want a watch with good loom and you want a watch with a good strap, you better be willing to get off your wallet and pay for it. That's just sort of my opinion on it. I think it's just disingenuous to poke holes in a watch. If you're not paying for something, don't expect to get it, I guess is my ultimate view on that. As far as the watch's appearance itself, it's got a sunburst dial. It's kind of hard to show in the video here. I think you can see a little bit there, which looks extremely good. Got applied markers, which are chromed, and then the loom applied to the center of the markers. You just don't see applied markers in watches at this price point. Normally the dials are silk screened and nothing much more. So to get applied markers at this dollar value or this price point is just amazing, and it really shows that Casio has gone way above where they needed to get this the watch to the quality that it is now. It's got an aluminum bezel insert with a loom pip on it. Once again, amazing value. You just don't see that at this price point. It's got a screw down crown. It's got a screw down back. Both of those, of course, are what this watch, or what makes this watch capable of getting to the 200-meter water resistance mark for itself. It's an extremely nice watch. The fit and finish is well done. It's a watch that looks much more expensive than it actually is, and it's nice. I don't think anyone can be too critical of what they've done with this watch. Another thing that I've seen other people comment on is the fact that it has a mineral crystal instead of a sapphire crystal, so it can be easy to scratch. You bang it on something, you're going to end up with a mark on it. Once again, I think it's ridiculous to actually even mention the fact that the crystal's not sapphire. At this price point, you will not get sapphire. You will not get sapphire for 5 times this price point. You might start to get sapphire at 7 times this price point. So to say that the watch doesn't have it, I don't believe people are being fair. For me, the watch represents, actually I should mention the movement as well. It's got a quartz movement made by Casio, obviously, so it's a Japanese made movement. I believe it's rated for plus or minus 20 seconds a month, so it's very good, as all quartz watches are. You can't be too unhappy with that. I think that's an excellent timekeeper. So I bought this watch as more of a beater or a secondary watch for myself, but it's a very good looking watch. It would easily fit the bill as a daily wear for me. It's a nice watch. It's extremely well made. The fit and finish, the attention to detail, the water resistance, the sunburst dial, the metal or the aluminum insert on the bezel. It's all spectacular. The only thing that I would find fault with in the watch is the crown size. I feel it's just a bit too small, makes it difficult to actually use if you have bigger fingers, or it's hard at the size that it's at to actually use it. But that is something that I believe you're only going to use it at most probably once a month to reset the date, between a 30-day month and a 31-day month. So it's not a big beef. It just takes a little bit of work to get a grip on it, and then you move on with your life and it's all good. But other than that, I highly recommend the watch. I highly recommend it because of the price. I highly recommend it because of the quality, the fit, the finish, the features. It's just an excellent watch for the $50 or less you're going to spend on it. And I really can't see anyone being unhappy with it. If you have any comments, please list them below. If you have any questions, list them below. I'm relatively new to YouTube, so I don't have a lot of content out there, and I'm slowly working on things, but if you have suggestions on how to make things better, please let me know. Thanks a lot, guys.